Rain poured heavily over the small town of Crestwood that morning, its streets glistening under the pale light of dawn. The school bus splashed through puddles, and behind one fogged-up window sat a girl whose eyes burned with determination. Her name was Alina, 16 years old, new in town, and carrying more secrets in her heart than anyone could imagine. For most students, the first day at a new school was about fitting in, finding friends, avoiding trouble. But for Alina, trouble was something she had stopped running from a long time ago. Trouble was the very reason she was here. She stepped off the bus, her sneakers sinking slightly into the wet ground. Around her, laughter echoed from different groups huddled under the entrance canopy. But one sound cut through the rest: cruel laughter. She turned her head just in time to see a boy, thin as a pencil, his glasses slipping down his nose, clutching his books tightly while three older boys blocked his path. One of them smacked the books from his hands, sending them splashing into a muddy puddle. The boy didn't fight back, he simply bent down, trembling, to pick them up. Alina felt something twist in her chest. She'd seen this before. Too many times. She walked past them at first, not wanting to start trouble before she even stepped into her first class. But then one of the bullies shoved the boy so hard he fell to his knees in the mud. That was it. Without a word, Alina dropped her backpack and stepped into their circle. "Pick on someone who can actually fight back," she said, her voice low and calm. The leader, a tall, broad-shouldered guy with a smirk, chuckled. "And what, you think that's you, new girl?" The next few moments happened so fast the crowd didn't have time to blink. One punch to the gut, a sharp knee to the side, a quick sweep of the leg, the leader hit the ground before his friends realized what was happening. The other two charged, but Alina dodged and countered with precision. She didn't hit harder than anyone else, but she hit smarter. By the time a teacher arrived, all three bullies were nursing bruises, and the boy in the mud was staring at her like she'd just walked out of a movie. Her name spread like wildfire through the school by lunchtime, the new girl who beat up all the bullies on her first day. Some students admired her. Some feared her. But Alina didn't care. She sat at an empty table in the cafeteria until a shadow fell over her tray. It was the boy from the morning. His voice was quiet. "You didn't have to do that, but thank you." His name was Liam, and as they talked, she realized he wasn't just shy, he had been a target for years. The bullies called him weak, but in the way he spoke, in the way his eyes lit up when he talked about books and astronomy, Alina saw a kind of strength most people couldn't see. Over the next few weeks, they became inseparable. She walked with him between classes, sat with him at lunch, and even helped him with his self-defense. But being friends with Liam wasn't easy. The bullies didn't forget what she did; if anything, they were angrier. They tried to corner them both after school. They spread rumors. They turned other students against her. It became a daily battle, not just with fists, but with the kind of cruel words that could cut deeper than any punch. And then came the biggest challenge. Liam told her one afternoon, his voice trembling, that his father wanted him to transfer to another school. "He says I'm too soft. That I'll never make it here," he confessed. For the first time, Alina saw real fear in his eyes, not of the bullies, but of giving up on himself. That night, Alina couldn't sleep. She thought of her own past, a home where shouting was louder than laughter, where she had to teach herself to fight because no one else would protect her. She realized she wasn't just fighting for Liam. She was fighting for the version of herself who once felt powerless. The next day, she marched into the gym during lunch and challenged the leader of the bullies to a sparring match in front of everyone. If she won, they would leave Liam alone for good. The crowd roared as they faced off. He was bigger, faster, angrier this time. The fight was long and brutal, but Alina fought with a calm precision, reading his moves before he made them. In the final moment, she dodged his punch, hooked his arm, and flipped him flat on his back. The gym exploded with cheers. The bullies never touched Liam again. Months later, as spring warmed the air, Liam stood next to her on the bleachers, smiling shyly. "You know, you saved me." She shook her head. "No, Liam. You saved yourself. I just made sure you had the chance." In that moment, she realized she had fallen for him not because he was strong in the way the world measured strength, but because he was brave enough to keep standing every day, even when life knocked him down. And that's where the story leaves you, watching two people who found courage in each other's presence. If you're listening to this, remember, strength isn't about how hard you can hit, but how much kindness you can give when the world expects you to stay silent. If this story touched your heart, drop a comment below and tell us about a time you stood up for someone or when someone stood up for you. And don't forget to subscribe to Be Kind Always for more stories that prove kindness is the strongest weapon we have.